Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Helen here with Droid Life. So we're continuing our series today called This Is My Android. And we're doing that because it's the end of the year, and this is typically the time where we get to settle into a single phone. Most of the new flagships are out. We're jumping into the holiday season, but we've sort of decided which phones we think are the best, our favorites of the year, and all of that. So this is going to be a fun one, and I'm guessing you've sort of figured out what exactly it is I'm using. Yes, it is that one. Google's Pixel is my Android. Let's not waste any more time though. Let's dive into this. This is my Android, Google's Pixel. So as you can see here, I've gone with the silver Pixel, which is also silver and white. So it's got the white top. And this is also the regular Pixel, not the Pixel XL. Let me move these guys out of the way. So I went with the regular Pixel because you guys know me, I'm a fan of phones that can be used with one hand. So this phone is quite manageable with one hand. You can get to all of the buttons, you can get to that notification area without doing too much of a shimmy. Plus Google, has added in some other shortcuts and things like that to help that out. But overall, this phone, it just fits in one hand, fits nicely in your skinny jeans. It's just a manageable phone, and there just aren't that many of these today. Few people are making the Galaxy S7 is obviously one, but overall, I think what's got me with this phone is that Google gave me choice. Now, I've thought about going to the XL, to be honest, just because it's a large phone that doesn't feel ridiculously large, and I may do that at some point, but for now, I'm kind of just stuck in this moment of normal sized phone where I can get everything done. Now, I didn't go with the blue version because I don't know that I love the idea of the white front and blue back, and the black version is just a little bit too boring for me. So I did go white and silver, and I think it's sort of a fun look, which doesn't always capture well on camera, but in person it's definitely a nice contrast of white to silver. Now, one of the probably most obvious reasons I've gone with this phone is the software experience, right? So it's Google's version for Android, but not only that, on the Pixel phones, it's an exclusive Google Vision for Android. So that means I get OK Google, where I can, long press there. I should say that gives me Google Assistant, where I can say OK Google, and then that whole system works there. But I also have the Pixel Launcher, which I have up and running now. You have fingerprint swipes on the notification. Fingerprint swipes on the fingerprint reader to bring down the notification area. So you've got some of these special features that no one else has that Google seems to be willing to really invest in. And so I'd imagine they're going to continue to add those over time. But look, it's Google's vision. So I've got the Pixel Launcher. I've got the styling of the UI that I like. The features are all in the places I feel like they should be in. It's got 24/7 support. It's got ambient display and adaptive brightness, and I can see more storage information. It's got smart storage stuff. It gives me more information in the settings now up front. Sure, it doesn't have SD card support, but it's the software experience I enjoy. It now has multi-window and NuGet and things like that, and so it's the software experience that, as an Android person, I sort of look forward to, but with this phone in particular, Google's really just fine-tuned it even more. I also really love the camera for one of the first times on an Android phone. I shouldn't say on an Android phone, on a Google Android phone. So the camera here, 12.3 megapixel Sony sensor. It's f2.0, 1.55 micron pixels. It's really fast. It takes really nice pictures. It's really easy to use, and it's one of those cameras that you feel like you can rely on. So that's one of the big points of a mobile camera, right? It's the camera you always have on you, so you want it to be good when you need it to be good. And this is one of those cameras that it launches really fast with the double tap of that button there. It focuses really fast, and it fires off really fast. It can even do burst shots and things like that and take dozens of photos at a time. It's got all the modes you want in a modern camera, from slow motion capture, and it does do 120 or 240 frames per second there. So you can flip between those. It also has motion blur, I should say lens blur options, where you can blur out backgrounds and things. It does photospheres, which has always been one of Google's coolest sort of camera tricks that they've created, and panorama and things like that. It records 4K video and has really cool video stabilization, which I think a lot of you will probably have some fun with, and you probably didn't know you needed until you actually use this. But for the camera, Google just got it right. And so with the Pixel phone, I just know that I have a good camera on me at all times. that I can rely on, and that's pretty important. As for my software setup, I really do keep this super simple these days. I don't know if that's because I jump through phones so much or I've just sort of figured out a really efficient way to use Android, but I set up a single home panel. Sometimes I have a calendar widget off to the right, not always. At this moment in time I do, though I haven't looked at it much. And then of course with the Pixel launcher, which I am using, I do have Google Now over there. And I am using the the Pixel launcher. I haven't switched to Nova. I haven't had a reason to. I'm sure I will at some point when I get bored of the stock icons and need a fresh look. But so far, like the Pixel launcher, it's super fast to swipe up into the drawer. I can jump into apps really quickly with the scroll bar or search for them or whatever I need to do. I do like this animation. I like the icons, or I should say the style of the folders that are created, the animations. It's a simple launcher, but it has enough advancement in terms of just getting in and out of things that I really appreciate. Of course, you now have app shortcuts and things like that because this is nougat that I actually have been using quite often. But overall, I keep it simple and I just sort of do everything from this main page. You can see I have my typical folder that's been with me for a long time, which has just a number of the apps I use often. But now I'm starting to gather some new ones as well. Like I have all the streaming services we use. Although I should have PlayStation View in there, and I'm not sure where that is at the moment, but that would normally be in there as well. I have all of my home stuff because I've really been sort of working towards this smart home. And you can see I've got 6 apps to manage all of that, which is kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is at this moment in time. And then I have my travel app with the apps I use when I travel the most. So I do everything from this main screen, and I don't have to necessarily go into the app drawer that much because I have my 5 favorite apps down here or my most used. I don't have to go search for things and find things. They're all just right here in this sort of spot. I don't have a bunch of widgets taking up space or that I need to go glance at because for the most part, apps load quick enough that I don't even need that glanceable information that much anymore. So anyways, like my software system or my software setup hasn't really changed that much. It still is clean and simple and just sort of lets me get things done without much fuss, which is what I really appreciate about it. And that's really sort of it for my Android for the end of 2016. This is really the phone I plan to stick with for the foreseeable future. I may jump in between this and the XL, but I get everything I need here. I have a phone that fits in one hand, which I appreciate. I have a great camera. I have the premium software experience in terms of Android that I want. And I just don't see any reason to go to something else. If anything, since this is so new, I'd be stepping backwards to an older phone. And look, we all like shiny new things, and this is the shiny new thing at the moment. But not only that, it really is the phone that sort of encompasses everything I want in a phone at the moment, sans maybe real water resistant. So for the next few months, expect me to probably be on Google's Pixel phone. And I have no regrets there. I'm actually excited to be able to sort of settle into a phone, really get to know it outside of a review period, and just learn all the little intricacies of it as we often don't get to do in this business. So let us know in the comments if you have questions or need anything else, or just let us know what your Android is and feel free to share your setup. For now, we're Droid Life. Peace.